Still continuing with Inter-Caspian kingdoms, we look at another greater kingdom, and that's the kingdom of Karagwe. And as earlier said, that was another Inter-Caspian kingdom between Rwanda and Burundi. Between Rwanda and Burundi and Lake Victoria. That one is a perfect description of the Inter-Caspian region. Perfect description of Inter-Caspian region. Because when you look at Rwanda, Burundi, and Lake Victoria, it is very explanatory that this was the Inter-Caspian region. So it grew. It is another kingdom that grew in the what? In the Inter-Caspian region. But what is the Inter-Caspian region? The region in between the what? The Great Lakes of East Africa. The 5 Great Lakes. And we are told that the earliest Bantu to settle here were farmers, meaning that the earliest inhabitants or founders came as farmers, disguising themselves, but as we shall see later, they took up other economic what? Activities. The earliest settlers came from the direction of southwest, and when you look at you look at the southwest, it was the direction of Bunyoro, and that was between the 10th and 15th centuries. And what does that one mean? If they came from Bunyoro, it means there was a problem in Bunyoro, and that problem was when the Luo invaded the world, the Chwezi, and that was around 1500 AD. It brings us back to the rise of Ankole Kingdom, meaning the rise of Ankole Kingdom was also attributed to, the rise of Karagwe was also attributed to the rise of Ankole Kingdom, because it is after the arrival of the Luo in Bunyoro and having chased out the Chwezi that we see Ankole growing or rising, and we see Karagwe growing. Same date. It means that the two kingdoms had very much had a lot in common. No wonder even the founder of the two kingdoms was the same. The founder of Ankole was Ruhinda. The founder of Karagwe Kingdom was the same man, Ruhinda. They came from the direction southwest between 10th and 15th centuries. What happened? They were fleeing from the Luo invasion. In other words, the Luo invasion was not only a final blow to the Chwezi. They said, what was the final blow to the Chwezi survive? And they died. Luo invasion. So it did not only affect the Chwezi. It is not that the Chwezi were affected, but even the rise of other kingdoms. So much as the Chwezi empire or the dynasty declined, it gave leeway to the rise of other kingdoms. One we have seen the rise of Ankole, and even now Karagwe. The time those people were fleeing from the Chwezi invasion reached Karagwe around the 16th century. So from the 1500 AD, they had reached Karagwe by the 16th century. So they were running away from the Luo. If they had not left, they would also be absorbed into the Luo-Bito dynasty. But they left. They were trying to look for survival. So after looking for survival, they end up establishing a very great kingdom known as the kingdom of Karagwe, in between Rwanda and Burundi and Lake Victoria. They were led by Ruhinda. That is already stated in the background. Ruhinda, the man who left Bunyoro after the arrival of the Luo, apart from founding the empire, I mean the kingdom of Ankole, and in Ankole he established the Hinda dynasty, which ruled up to 1967, when Obote abolished what? Kingdoms. The same thing applies here. After establishing the kingdom of Ankole, he didn't stop there. He went ahead to establish the kingdom of Karagwe. That was who? Ruhinda. And later we shall see the Hinda dynasty being so successful in Karagwe, in the subtopic to come. Those who founded the Karagwe kingdom were mere immigrants. They were just newcomers. And we have already seen that they were running away from the invasion of the what? Of the Luo into Bunyoro. So the immigrants, those who are running away from the invaders, finally reached a point where there was peace. They reached a point where there was peace, and they said, why don't we settle here? Why don't we settle here? And that settlement led to the rise of Karagwe kingdom. It was so peculiar. I just love the way this kingdom was established. You are running away, and as you are trying to settle, you realize that here we can have even a what? A kingdom. And which kingdom? Karagwe kingdom. What happened when they reached in Karagwe? They found another king who was called Nono. Nono was the son of Marija. This was the reigning king. He was called Nono, the son of Marija. Like in Dahura, the grandson of Karugumbi. So when Nono realized when Nono saw the coming of the immigrants led by Ruhinda, he had to bow down because he realized that he was too weak to repulse the newcomers. So Nono, son of Marija, realized that he was too weak to fight, and he said, I give way to you, you can take over and become the new king. Meaning, Nono, son of Marija, was no more. He was deposed. And this term deposing is intended to mean overthrow. To depose is to overthrow. To deport, these are terms used in history. To deport is to exile. Deposing is to overthrow. Deporting is to exile. And reinstating, to reinstate, is to bring back onto the what? On the throne. So there are three terms used here. Depose, overthrow. Deport, exile. Reinstate, bring back to the throne. That's how Nono, the son of Marija, finally lost what? Finally lost his power in Karagwe. And what does that one mean? Now Ruhinda, the man who led the immigrants from Bunyoro, and having founded the kingdom of Ankole, now founded the what? Another kingdom known as the Karagwe kingdom. Very peculiar indeed. The newcomers themselves became rulers. So after deposing the man who was in power, that is Nono, son of who? Of Marija, they now made themselves the new rulers. Meaning, the reign of Nono was no more. And it was now who? It was now Ruhinda with his new administration in place, because they have deposed who? They have deposed Nono, son of Marija. What follows? They set up their capital. That was the beginning of establishing their firm grip on Karagwe. They now set up the king and the capital at a place called Bwehangwe. That Bwehangwe was the base of all the operations of Ruhinda, like Mirambo, who established his capital at Urambo, but this one established the capital at Bwehangwe, and it was Bwehangwe which was used as the base of all these operations. If they wanted to attack, all supplies would come from Bwehangwe, meaning they were now trying to revise the administration in place after getting rid of Nono, the son of Marija. But after that, Ruhinda realized the need to expand, because we say the empires grow through conquests and annexation in all directions. So Ruhinda realized the need to expand. That's why he sent his sons. He sent out his sons with the royal regalia. What was the royal regalia? The royal regalia was a symbol of power. It was the symbol of power. Without the royal regalia, one would not be recognized as the reigning king or leader. So he told each of his sons, by the way, there were nine sons, all of them, he sent them out. What was the order? He told them, go out and establish small sub-dynasties. He told them, go and establish what? Small sub-dynasties. All sub-dynasties under the Hinda stock, that go out, establish small sub-dynasties, but all answerable to who? To me. That was something peculiar about Ruhinda. In other words, he was trying to establish a bigger what? A bigger empire. Not only in Karagwe, but even beyond. The 9 sons all went out and started their own small sub-dynasties. What does that one mean? Those small sub-dynasties gave rise to other small kingdoms. So we are not only talking about Karagwe kingdom, but we are also talking about other dynasties, other kingdoms that finally came out of Karagwe after Ruhinda gave his sons the symbol of power, and that was the royal regalia. What does that one mean? It gave rise to kingdoms like Kyamutwara. It gave rise to kingdoms like Ihanjiro. It gave rise to Bushinja. You can see all these sound like Kinyankore, because Ruhinda came from Ankole. Kyamutwara, Ihanjiro, Bushinja, and Busubi, and even Nasha. All these sub-dynasties emerged as a result of the sending out of his sons to establish other small sub-dynasties elsewhere. And that's why we are saying the rise of Karagwe kingdom had a lot to do with the rise of Ankole, even the decline of Ankole. The decline of Ankole gave rise to the establishment of Karagwe. And all that was because of Ruhinda's efforts. Upon the death of Ruhinda is now no more. It means, what does it mean? Upon the death of Ruhinda, all the sub-dynasties, all those small dynasties became independent. What does it mean? It means that these sons of Ruhinda that had been given the royal regalia, we are too weak. We are too weak to do what? They were too weak to manage themselves. It means that they could not stand firm. They could not stand firm to ensure that stability in these kingdoms went on. They had to establish their own what? Independence. Meaning, these sons didn't have the capacity to rule. And what does that mean? The whole of Karagwe finally came to an end in the 20th what? Century. So the greater kingdom of Karagwe, which had grown and succeeded because of Ruhinda's power and the efforts, had finally come to an end in the 20th century, which was too sad. Meaning, even when these sons were to replace him, they could not do what he did. Thank you so much. That is because, and that's what we look at the origins of Karagwe.